Problems are nothing but opportunities. You just got to look at it and figure, I'm going to figure this out, you know? They're not bad things, they're good things.
Click on the button and get involved in 6 Minutes to Success. I've been doing it for a long time. It's helped me earn millions of dollars, and it'll help you do exactly the same.
See, pardon me, we're conditioned, first of all. The environment.
It's what creates.
It has a greater influence than genetics. However, you look like your relatives because of the genetic conditioning, and then on top of that, you've got the environmental conditioning. Well, all that conditioning is repetition in your subconscious mind. It forms something we call a paradigm. A paradigm is nothing but a mass of habits or a mass of ideas that express themselves automatically without any conscious thought. And that paradigm keeps us going. It's in our subconscious mind. We gather information in our conscious mind, but it's the subconscious that moves the body. And if we don't change that paradigm, nothing happens. That's what I did when I got into this book. It was the repetition of information that was totally foreign to me. It was totally foreign to anything I had ever heard. And as I started to listen to it on recordings, I couldn't stop listening to the record. I had never heard anybody talk like that. I thought, wow, anybody can have anything they want. What if that's true? Well, I found out it was true. That's the way we live. You would never have hired me to do anything. I was losing.
Right.
On the 14th of this month, I'm being recognized in Carnegie Hall in New York.
Congratulations.
Well, but there's such a difference in the two situations. So totally different. You think, how does that happen? It's in here. You say you're putting this on YouTube or Facebook or something? If a person will watch this every day, the whole thing, not just a little bit of it, not just a little part that really got them interested, but if they got up an hour early every morning and watched this every morning, and they did that for an entire year, I guarantee you they would double their income. And I don't even care what they're earning. I could show anyone how to turn their annual income to a monthly income. I can show anyone how to become a millionaire. But they got to do exactly what I'm telling them. And people say, well, that doesn't make any sense to watch it every day. Not according to the consciousness that you're operating with, but if you're operating with my consciousness, it would make a hell of a lot of sense. I get up 5:15 every morning, and I study. So if a person said, I'm going to get up an hour early, that's 1 hour every day. That's 9 40-hour weeks in a year. So you'd be studying what we're talking about, concentrated study for 9 40-hour weeks in a year. Their life would just totally change. Giving is one of the laws of the universe. You've got to willingly give and graciously receive. And if you have to think before you give, you're trading, you're not giving. I often say,
how do you do something?
Well, there's where the goals come in. That's where the purpose for life comes in. You gotta have a main purpose. You gotta have a purpose for life. And you've got to have meaningful goals. They've got to be meaningful. You're trading your life for it. Like I often say in a seminar, I want you to imagine you're at the end of the road. And you know you're at the end of the road. Your body's so weak, they've got you tied in a wheelchair. Or they've got you in a crib bed so you don't fall out, kill yourself.
Right.
Just imagine, all you can do is relive your life. I want you to imagine you're there and you go back and think, God, I wonder if we had moved there, what would have happened? If we had started that company, remember we were going to sell the house and start that company. If we had done this, I wonder what would have happened. And then, God, if I could only do it over again. I said, wouldn't that be terrible? Spend the last days of your life like that? Wouldn't it be better if you look back and say, wow, what a trip. God, I remember we did that. Remember we blew our brains out on that. We lost everything we had. But you know, when you lose it big enough, it can be exhilarating. And then we did this. And what you're doing is laying there and you're reliving your whole life.
And that's the goal.
Got to have the goal. Listen,
Wow.
when I read this, I owed everybody I knew money. But the guy that told me, he said, don't clean offices for somebody else, do them for yourself. And he told me where I could buy a used floor machine and some buckets and mops. It was going to cost $980. I mean, I didn't know anyone would lend me money because I never paid them back. Not that I didn't want to, I just never had any money. Well, I searched and searched and searched, and I found a guy that lent me $1,000. So when somebody tells me they can't borrow money, I know that they haven't tried. I think anybody can borrow $1,000 somewhere. And that's what I did. And I turned it into a multi-million-dollar organization. I sat down one day with my pen in this business. I said, I'm going to build a company that operates all over the world. We operate all over the world. So if you have to borrow money, borrow the money. But get into the business. Actually do it. And anybody wants my book, you can get the Born Rich book, you can go, we give it away. If you go on our site, go to bobproctor.com or proctorgallagher.com. Download some of the stuff. We give a lot of good stuff away. Watch it 1,000 times. Be the best hour you ever spent. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to reprogram your mind just through listening to me saying the same thing over and over again. You're going to think, wow. Every day, I want you to take a pen and write down, every morning, write down 10 things you're grateful for. But you've really got to be grateful. You've got to feel it. You're really grateful. Then I want you to send love to 3 people that are bothering you. If they're bothering you, you don't like them. They've got nothing to do with it. You're thinking bad thoughts about them. You're putting yourself in a bad vibration. Send love to 3 people that bother you. And then take 5 minutes and be quiet. Just be perfectly quiet and ask for guidance for the day. Everybody in our company does that every day. Start every morning, write 10 things that you're grateful for. Send love to 3 people that bother you. Be quiet for 5 minutes and ask for guidance for the day. It's a winning formula. Come here. I want you to take one of these things in your hand right now. And I want you to write down what you really want. Doesn't matter how you're going to get it. Write down what you really want. You'll be glad you did.